Hello and welcome to the final session of this Plan Your, what's it called? Your Perfectly Planned and Profitable 2018. I knew it was called already. So let's see who manages to arrive. You were working on your consistency plans last time you were here, and we're just leaning into the final bit, really. Hi, Samantha. Samantha's totally fired up. I'm loving it. Absolutely. Oh, hello, Jen. Lovely to see you here. You're very welcome. It's all about forecasting. So we've got other people joining us. We'll just wait for those guys to join us. Come say hi. And then we'll get into the content. We've just got the final 30 minutes. Don't worry about it, Jen. All of the sessions have been kind of marked session 1 through to 5, so you can see where they're at. They've all got a title as well, so you can also see what's what. Hi, Annabelle. Lovely to see you here. So you've all done so well to be here, to do the work, and to keep turning up. I've got a confession to make. I'm really hot now. I lit the fire a while ago and the whole house has just gone massively hot warm. So I'll take one of my 3 layers off. Right. Okay. Poor little thing. She's obviously, maybe she's kind of got her body out of sync with all the darkness and all the rest of it. Oh, but maybe she's just like the rest of us and she doesn't actually like the heat. So the final part of today is in the workbook. It's the last 3 pages. So why are we just concentrating on January, February and March? And the truth is that if you are fairly new to being consistent in your business and you really from today taking that declaration about being consistent in your business, about showing up and about taking forward everything you've taken note of in your consistency plan and implementing your success plan, is that it might take 3 months for you to start to see the results. So we do it in 3-month chunks for that reason. Marketing often takes 3 months. It depends on how many times your audience is seeing you. You can accelerate that, of course. It depends how many times you go out there and launch. It depends how frequently you are selling. It depends on all sorts of different things. 90 days is quite a nice period of time. It's not too big. You know, if I said, like, let's plan out the next 6 months, you might just like go, oh my God, it's too big. So 90 days is nice. Also, 90 days is a really nice kind of test period as well to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what works for you, what works for your audience. So these kind of 90-day slots, as I was sharing with Samantha and Sharon, if you start to find yourself feeling overwhelmed with it, like your plans for 2018, is carve them up into these 3-month chunks. And I did a very crude grid for Samantha and Sharon, and it was basically, I'll just turn that lamp off so you can see it, is you know, that's as good as it gets. And you just put quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. And, you know, as I was saying in some of the other training, is that, you know, if you think about maybe, and again, it's entirely very individual as this, but if you maybe want to think that at the end of March, where do you want to be? So do you want to have launched a middle lane product or even a fast lane product? So if that's the end goal, what do you want to put in place in January and February and March in terms of consistency, in terms of slow lane, medium lane offers to get you to the point where people are buying your fast lane offers? Yeah, you're very welcome, Alison. You just come and get as much from this as you can before you leave to go and go out and teach your wonderful women. So The forecast sheet is purely to, you can print these off, write on them, stick them on a wall, keep them in your journal, keep them in your planners, do whatever you need to do. But it's really starting to think about, here we have some juicy income goals, some ideas, some commitments to consistency. When are you going to call things in? So when you actually look at the format, it's like, what is that financial target that you've got for Q1? Put that in. And then have a look at both your January, February and your March forecast and look at, how many products in each lane are you forecasting to sell? All this is a forecast to sell. Yeah, so Victoria's saying I need to work out where to feed into the fast lane offers more. So shall we say, I'll ask you the question instead of making an assumption. Victoria, when are you planning to call in more of your fast lane clients? Let me ask you that question. Yeah, and for Alison, so the question's for you as well, Alison. When are you planning to call in more of your fast lane clients? You'd like to move as soon as possible. Brilliant. So think about the people that you've already got in your middle lane. What are the needs that you can't meet in that middle lane? So think about your existing middle laners. I have a feeling, Victoria, from what you shared before, that actually some of these middle laners would naturally fit into a fast lane product. But for you, thinking about, what would they get as a fast laner v what they're currently having? And who is it that comes to mind of your existing middle lane people that you could immediately go to and say, look, I've been thinking about you. I can really see that you're struggling with this, this, and this. This is what I'm proposing. And it could be something bespoke for each individual person, or it could be something that you feel really compelled to put together as your VIP package. Yeah. And it might be if they can't see it, maybe it is when you do that readjustment of what people get in the middle lane, that people will say, well, actually, what I'm looking for is that one-to-one support. And that's when you can say, well, that's amazing. And the way that I can help and serve you at that level is over here in my VIP lounge. So Sharon's back, welcome. Alison says, time, cost of the issues for mine and small kids. Is it possible one may never have a fast lane? So for you, Alison, your fast lane could be your retreats that you take people abroad in. That could become a fast lane for you. It could be one of the levels of your mentoring becomes a fast lane. So if you don't currently have clarity right now about what your fast lane offering is, don't worry, it will come. It will become clear. And if you just set that intention that you are, you're calling in clarity about what your fast lane is, and you just kind of dance with things that come up and see what they want. Alison, with the whole Portugal thing, you're failing to recognise that 4 of your amazing clients have said yes, happily said yes. And they keep saying yes. So if there are 4, there will be another 4 and another 4 and another 4. We're not the only 4 women who said this. And it may be, just as I said in the last session, that you are here for is actually look at the objections that people came up with for coming and joining you this time and seeing if you feel aligned to creating something that would meet those needs. Yeah. 4 is amazing, isn't it, for this time? It is absolutely incredible. But you need more. So have a look at those objections and see if you feel aligned to do it. And if not, it could be that you've got some work to do in the beginning part of 2018 to actually start to identify those women who can say yes. And it might be that it means that you're targeting maybe business women who are all out of time, energy, and they need to do that kind of check-in. That, you know, that's purely what I'm doing, is that I'm taking it as a business opportunity to get recharged. The thing is, sometimes with our message, like whenever we get into a launch, so often we feel as if all we can hear is us saying how amazing this opportunity is and why people should come and work with us. And one of the pieces of advice that I was always given about launching is that you have to keep telling people, because there will be people who buy at the beginning, there will be people who buy at the end, and there'll be people who buy in the middle. And that's just the psychology of people. Yeah, you could well do. I mean, honestly, Alison, I think you would do brilliantly with appealing to business women. And it'd be really interesting, maybe a bit of food for thought as you're travelling to class tonight, is to think about, you know, what is your proportion of your current client group who do run their own business? Yeah, and the point is, Alison, is that you're right in the middle of your launch. So you're in that lull phase, because actually you're closing the doors. I think you're closing the doors to this being a possibility in February, unless that's shifted with the news from this week. So if we were looking at, you know, a launch of mine that normally launched maybe in 3 weeks or 10 days. So the beginning part, you'll get people buying, because it's like a hell yes, it's totally. Then there's a lull. So often in a launch, I'll do something in the middle part to really kind of ignite that interest again. And then at the end, that's when you get people, you know, I had 2 people buy after the cart closed, and that's just human nature. Yeah. So maybe for you, you've got to have a cut-off in your own head. And then maybe that's just like, whatever happens by the end of February, that's how it's going to be. And then you can actually let your head and your heart get on to doing other things. And if in the meantime you come across people who are interested just because you're speaking to them about it, that's amazing, isn't it? That's an added bonus. And sometimes when we try things for the first time, and this is certainly true, Alison, if you think about, you know, a strong woman, is, which for the other people who are not aware of it, which Alison's first kind of mentoring group program, is that actually you learn a lot of lessons about that, and you know how you're going to take it forward, or you have an idea of the things that you would do differently when you take it forward. And that's how it is every time we do something. So for all of everything that you've learned today, is that you might start with your slow lane offers and your middle lane offers and your fast lane offers, and then as you go through it, you start to get some clarity and you learn some lessons that you needed to learn, and then you change what that looks like. But we can't say right now what those lessons are because we don't have a crystal ball. So for people looking at this forecast then, you know, what does your forecast look like? So in Q1, what is that financial figure that you are looking for? So from the beginning of January right through to the end of March, is that like a growth period? Is that somewhere that you can see that you can use it as like a test bed for 2018 and really start to implement everything you've learned today and the things that you're already doing in your business, and really see that, you know, once you've got that straight, that Q2, Q3, and so on is actually going to be like an increase? Or do you feel that you're good to go now with actually putting a nice juicy figure into Q1? Where are people with their plans? And really with your forecasting, whilst you kind of respond to that, is that, and Samantha is completely here with me on this, is that with money, we need to track it. And this is just like a real life example. Is my sister runs her own forest school, and we were talking about her sales. And I asked the question, she'd only been in business like a year, and I asked her a question about, well, you know, what are your sales? and what are your targets? And she'd never really thought about setting herself a target. And as soon as she set herself a target, oh my God, she made a lot more sales because she had that focus. She was like, right, I mean, let's say, for example, she had a target of, I don't know, having 20 families booked in for every session. So, and that would give her however much profit. So that was like, right, okay, I've got these 15 families who come consistently. So what do I do to attract those 15 people? So she was playful, and she had a go at being consistent on social media. She got other families to post up their testimonials, their photos, tag Emma and different things that they were sharing in different groups. And all of a sudden, within a very short period of time, she's been sold out since then. And she said to me what made the difference was thinking about her target and working towards a target. And sometimes, this might be the case for some people, is that actually generating money in your business. And maybe it's taking you to your old income level. So you get a bit like la, 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 la about it. But what we need is to always, if you're looking for growth and stretch and fabulousness and stability and financial security and stability, is that we want to be setting ourselves goals, intentions, targets that really accelerate us forward and put the fire in our heart and everything else. So Samantha's shared that Q1, she's got a target of 30k. Fabulous. So it's a £1,500 increase. So with that forecast sheet, with those 3 sheets, are you able to map out where that extra £1,500 is coming from? Victoria says, I need to brainstorm more, got ideas coming in, but which is a first for me in months. Brilliant. So Samantha, Victoria, what does that brainstorm look like? Is it something that we can do here for you today? Let me know. And for everybody else, what are your juicy targets? And if you don't want to share, there's real power in sharing, and thank you, Samantha, for doing that. Everything that's within this group is confidential. Everything you share with me is confidential, and I extend that confidence to all of us. And if you don't want to talk about specifics, you can talk about an increase from where you are now. So Samantha says, yeah, I've already nailed how many more I need in each category. Yes. So then when you think about your consistency, so there you go. Let's take Samantha as an example. She's got the next 3 months mapped out, January, February, March. So she knows where the growth is. So she can clearly see that maybe, let's take, for example, I don't know, but let's say that growth is maybe in her slow lane, and her slow lane offers are going to be X, Y, and Z. So then when you look at that and you think about consistency and content and using videos and that sort of thing, then you've got a whole load of content that you can create to get your audience ready for that slow lane offer. So Victoria's saying, I don't know, I need to sit in the quiet and think for an evening. Of course you do. You've been listening to this whilst being mama as well. So sometimes we do just need that kind of clear desk. I've got a clear desk tomorrow till 11 o'clock. It's amazing. I'm going to have 2 hours where I can just catch up on myself and everything. And I love those quiet spots. Yep, so Jen's saying that she's had a target, but she's having to review it. Well, this is what happens with targets, because at the end of January, you take that forecast sheet and you say, right, okay, my forecast was 30,000. I've generated 17,000. Right, let's have a look at what's been working really brilliantly. I want to do more of that. I want to leverage that. And then you look at what is the gap? Where did I take my eye off the ball? What didn't work? What do I need to tweak? So all of a sudden, by having not only forecasted, but then to have a look at your actuals, you're all of a sudden in the driving seat of your business. Victoria's on one. She's doing back-to-back training as well. Good for you. Well, I hope it's something that kind of dovetails in, that maybe gives you the answers to some of your questions. So let's just check in. So we've got feedback from Jen, from Samantha, from Victoria. What about Annabelle? What about Alison? What about Sharon? What about, who else is here? Heard from Jen. So Alison, Sharon and Annabelle, you know, what is kind of coming up for you when you look at your forecast? And you might be like, I feel deep resistance to looking at a forecast, and that's why I didn't. Oh, Kelly's here. Hello, Kelly. Right, Alison, you can catch up with this. You're at 20 minutes, so you've kind of got last 10 minutes to listen back to. Kelly's head's in overload. Tell us more about that, Kelly. What's going on for you? And this is what happens, isn't it? This is what happens when we do these great days. And then sometimes we need to like go in and let it process, or we need to have a bath and let it come through. And one of the reasons why in your workbook I have given you a pretty page to do your forecast is that I didn't want to give you a grid. Some of my clients have had a grid before. And, you know, it's kind of like if you've got resistance to doing the number work, the money work, having a grid doesn't really help, but actually it does. But you need to get into the practice of tracking your money, tracking your sales, tracking your forecast, tracking your actuals. Yes, so Victoria says she now knows where I want to go. I have products that need to go for sure. They no longer bring me joy. Let them go. Kelly says, I'm not sure. I'm at the end of the launch and tired. Yeah, you've done amazingly. I'm very excited to see what happens with your planning as well. You know that I'll be there to support you, Kelly. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what comes out of that, doesn't it? Most definitely. So Sharon, Annabelle, if you're still here, I'd love to hear from you. Again, there's you know, I'm not going to tell you off if you find this bit really difficult. It's just really good for me. Oh, Annabelle says it's frozen on her. She'll catch up, but thanks for a fabulous day. My pleasure, Annabelle. You take care. It's funny, isn't it, putting money right at the end of the day? I mean, this is maybe something for the 12th when we get back together again, is, you know, with renewed energy and insight and all the rest of it. This might be the point when looking at money is a really good idea at the 12th. And also then January becomes really clear, doesn't it? So Sharon's saying she's thinking about the 7K mark would require me selling 10 people into the 10-day content creation bootcamp, 5 people into the consistent content hub, and 2 people into the Biz one-to-one. So how does that feel, Sharon? How does that feel that in January you look at being on track for generating 7K in your business? You're quite clear about what it is. So your low-end stuff is your easiest stuff to sell, isn't it? So, you know, what content, how can you drive people to your low-end stuff? Scary. Tell me about scary. What does scary mean and look like and feel like for you? So with the small end stuff, you know, you start there and you sell that, and you get your no-brainers people coming through going, oh my God, Sharon, I want more of that. And then you go, oh, well, that's amazing, because here at the midpoint of January, I've got this boot camp. That's really cool. And then you have a look at your existing clients who have been working with you at the latter end of 2017, and you approach them and say, look, I've got this really amazing opportunity about coming and working with one-to-one. There's only 2 spots available, and I instantly thought of you. Is this something you want to jump on a quick call and have a conversation with me about? That's it. So you sell your low-end stuff. You launch your middle stuff, and you have some private conversations about your private stuff. Yeah. And Sharon, if you start to think, oh my God, this is really overwhelming, maybe in January, just look at one level of your business, if that feels the right thing. So maybe in January, just look at the one slow lane product that's going to get people to your mid lane product, that would get people to your fast lane product. Your fast lane products, to be fair, I would say they would come from your clients who are currently working with you. That would be my gut instinct on that. time would tell, won't it? It'd be really interesting when you start to track this, if you're not already, to see where those, how you naturally call your fast lane people to you. And if you do decide to run 2 slow lanes, what you might want to do is start one in December. So Sharon, when you say you need to grow arms and legs, is this, and you referenced previously about wanting a VA, and again, Kelly is a really great person to speak to about this. So when you're looking to bring somebody into your business, you could spend an awful lot of your own time, sacred time, advising somebody how they could best support you. So you for that to really work and be effective is that you want to get really, really clear about what that person is bringing to you and what that releases you to do instead. Because that's the valuable bit, isn't it? If you're bringing somebody else into your business, what does that release you to do and for you to focus on? And how much of your time have you got to support the person over here doing the VA work? But yeah, I mean, you've just sat there and said that you can generate 7K into your business in January. That's just the start, isn't it? And can you see how this keeps you focused as well? So we do get, life's busy and we get pulled in all sorts of different directions, but this keeps us on track. And it's also something to come back to if you find that actually you're not going out there and promoting it. You can actually look at it and say, why? What is going on here? Why am I feeling resistance to going out and launching this? And then if it's a mindset piece, you can work on that. If it's the fact that you realise you haven't been consistent with your visibility, will you go and do that? If you're just totally in overwhelm, you go and get some help and support on that. So this is really about keeping focus, keeping on your track, regardless of what happens, but equally to have an understanding of where you need that additional support as well. If you need it, if you need that accountability, if you need that support, if you need to call in a VA. Right, my gorgeous, amazing, fabulous business growers, haven't you been absolutely immense and fabulous? So I have time to answer your questions. I have the capacity to be here for a little bit longer. If you need me to be here, let me know. Let me know by just saying, yes, you need some additional help and support. Just let me know in the comments, because I know it takes a long time to type in your kind of questions, and I don't want you to for me to go, bye, and then for you to have questions. So let me share what happens after this point. So we have got a catch-up day on Tuesday, the 12th of December. So in 13 days' time, we will be back in here. If you want me to go over a session, a training session, an element of what we've covered today, I can do. If you want me to answer your questions, we can do. If you want me to hold it as an accountability day, so if you kind of leave here full of yeah, I'm going to do this, and then you actually discover 2 weeks down the road that you're struggling because you haven't got that accountability, let me know. So that's the 12th of December. This is a catch-up time. So actually what you've got as a bonus is 13 days of continuous support. So if you want me to have a look at anything, like your plans or your success model or your offers or anything like that, come and post it in this group. And not only will you get some support from me, you'll get feedback from other people who may well be your ideal clients. But it's like a proper sisterhood in here. We are here to help and support each other. You would have seen when Samantha asked for some feedback on her 3 kind of messages that we came in and said, well, we like this and we like that, but I'm not quite sure about that. So come and use this space. Make sure that you keep supported. This isn't the end, because I know that these days are all amazing and you get all really excited and blah, blah, blah. And then, the door closes and life carries on. This isn't about leaving you without that support. So make sure that you're still supported within the next 13 days. Okay, so I'm assuming that nobody has said that they have any questions. Okay, So use this group, use this forum to be supported. And I suppose it just remains for me to say thank you so much for coming, for sharing up, for engaging, for doing the work, for believing in me that I can help and support you. Have a very fabulous Thursday. Keep warm. I think that's probably a key message. And just, I look forward to seeing what happens as a result of our time spent here today. Okay. Thank you very much, and I'll see you really soon. Bye for now. Bye.